Okay, good morning, Math 2 students. It's Wednesday, March 25th, 2020, day 3 of our distance learning. And this is Unit 11.3b, where we're going to be solving more quadratic equations using completing the square, but we're also going to end up with some complex numbers. So we want you to be ready for that. Now we're actually going to put those complex numbers to use. Maybe you're still a little confused with those about complex numbers and imaginary numbers. Just remember, sometimes we end up with a square root of a negative number. That really doesn't make sense to us. So in order to deal with it, we made up the imaginary numbers. Okay, it's just a way of taking that square root of -1 and making it a little neater. So let's go ahead and jump right in, and I'm just going to do a couple of examples for you here, and then I'm going to turn you loose on this worksheet. So, let's go ahead and just start off with number 1. It's already set up for us. The variable, or excuse me, the constant is already on the other side. So I'm going to add something to make this a trinomial square. Equals -13 plus whatever I add to the left, I'm going to add to the right to keep it balanced. Half of 6 is 3, and 3 squared is 9. So I add 9 to both sides. This factors into x plus 3 quantity squared equals -13 plus 9, or -4. Okay, you can see hopefully this is going to be a good example of, we're going to end up with an I because we take the square root of both sides. The square root of x plus 3 squared is just x plus 3, and the square root of -4 excuse me, is 2i. All right, one step left. Subtract 3 from both sides, and we get x equals -3 plus 2i. And there's it. That's your answer. Oh, sorry, plus or minus 2i, right? This one thing this does tell us is we're not going to have any x-intercepts because this is not a real number, so we are not going to cross the x-axis. All right, let's take a look at, let's see here. Let's jump down and do number 6. Take a look at that one. All right, again, we're going to solve by completing the square. Before we do that, we have to get this 7 to the other side. Now we have x squared minus 10x. Remember, we're going to add something to make this a trinomial square. It equals -7. But we have to add to the left and right. All right, half of -10 is -5, squared is 25. We add that to both sides, and now this becomes x minus 5 squared equals 18. Take the square root of both sides. We get the square root of x minus 5 squared is just x minus 5. And the square root of 18 is 3 root 2. Add 5. Oh, boy, I'm getting lazy. It's plus or minus 3 root 2. Add 5 to both sides. We get x equals, we always put this first, 5 plus or minus 3 root 2. All right, I'm going to leave those 2, 4, 5 for you guys to do here on the front. Remember, if you end up with the square root of a negative number, simply take out the negative and put an I. Okay? All right, let's see what we got here in the back for you. All right, just some more review, some practice with complex and imaginary numbers. Let's see what we got here. How about number 12? That's maybe a new one. Remember, 5i squared is simply 5i times 5i. 5 times 5 is 25, and I times I is I squared. And we know that I squared equals -1, so our final answer is -25. I think you can handle all these. All right. This is a little bit back to last unit. I'm going to leave those for you to do. I think you guys should be able to handle all those. Good luck on this, and have a great day. Email me with any questions.